Welcome back to Bet On It. It's that time of the show you guys have been waiting for. It's time to look at this week's best bets in college football. All right, boys, I'll give it a start here. A little gun shy, I will say, this week. I do have a ton of bets, as you saw on my little sheet of paper. But the one I really like the most, because it fits in mathematically, it fits in situationally, and I also think this underdog is going to be able to keep it close. So it checks all of my boxes, is Liberty.
I like it. I love it.
17.5 is what I got it at. It's currently at 17. This is a play also against Virginia. That's why I mentioned situational. This Virginia team hasn't really made their backers much money this year. They've been short favorites and done well in those situations. But now we're asking them before the Virginia Tech game to beat a Liberty team by 17.5. And that seems easy enough. Remember when Liberty was a 7.5-point favorite over Rutgers, and I said, hey, Rutgers is the play. Sure looks like Liberty's the play to me. I took the 17.5. I really like this one. It made my personal card, and so far is my best bet of the week. Remember, we are filming on Wednesday, so if I change it by Saturday, nobody giving me grief on Twitter.
Give me Liberty or give me death.
That's where I'm at mentally right now. Like, give me all the winners, or I'm going to jump off the top of the Westgate.
Stratosphere's higher.
I know. I'll probably just break my legs at the top of the Westgate, and then I'll just be really screwed. Stratosphere. At least, but at the Stratosphere, they let you bungee in.
Yeah.
Like, so then.
Would you do that?
Oh yeah, let's go. We should take a field trip to do that. That'd be fun. You wouldn't do that?
No.
Oh
no.
God, you're
Hell
such a
no.
baby.
I am.
You're strapped in. Where are you gonna go? Okay. All right, Marco.
This we're gonna go to Kansas State, Texas Tech.
Oh, God.
You're gonna like my play. And
I already
guys,
played it.
the last two weeks we've been dead on Texas Tech. Yeah, all you that tweeted at me last week when we were down 24-3, we had them right where we wanted them.
I was not going to tweet at you because I was already having an epically bad morning myself, so I didn't deserve to give anybody else grief for theirs. But I was very happy when I walked in the door and saw Texas Tech down 2.
They roared back, but now, and the reason we were on Texas Tech 2 weeks in a row is they were catching opponents that were in bad sandwich spots, and we took advantage of it with a team that can move the football, doesn't play any defense, but can score points. And whenever you can't stop anybody, if you're playing somebody that's in a flat spot, that helps negate that bad defense. Okay, well, this week, that is not the case. The team that's actually in the sandwich is Texas Tech. They're coming off playing TCU, fellow in-state rival, and who do they got up next? Texas. That's their big game every year. They'll play that game on Friday. And I'm going to look at this one where they're coming off the gut-wrenching loss. They were getting blown out, come back, had the lead for a moment, and then TCU gets the touchdown with the last remaining quarterback on the team. And he had a hell of a game.
He did.
He had a hell of a game.
And no doubt, I think Duffy will have a good game, but this is probably the better defense that they've seen for most of the year. And this is a K-State team that always tends to do well against teams like Texas Tech, KU, those lower teams, and not West Virginia. And that's because I think they got a little too fat and sassy last week.
And Kelly, this Texas Tech defense, how bad it is, to put it in perspective, how many college teams are there? 130. They're ranked 115th out of 130.
Good grief.
Okay? Your Kansas State team should score early and often and throughout the game, and they can run the football. And that is a problem with Texas Tech. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass either. This is going to be a game, and Kansas State's got to be in a foul mood after losing to West Virginia last week. And that was a spot for them. They lost a close game the week before against Texas, that, carry over to lose a game twice scenario. You're going to get an angry bunch of Wildcats. And I know when this Wildcat gets angry, I know how she is.
In the Cheez-It Bowl, they better win. They better win at Texas Tech.
I want to
go to the Cheez-It Bowl because it's close, and I don't want to have to go to Memphis again.
Yeah.
You don't like walking in Memphis?
Not in January. If I'm going to go to Memphis, let me go when it's in April or May, but not in January. It's pretty pointless. All right,
you got me. Kansas State.
We're ready for your best bet.
All right. I got to try to give you guys a winner. I keep getting over and over to keep hearing, oh, you gave out a best bet. It wasn't even on your card. I get that all the time. Or, oh, you're up in college football? How come you're not giving us the winners on the show? The truth is, I give you what I have up until today. It's Wednesday, guys. And if you check my Instagram, I actually put a picture up of what my sheet looks like on Saturday. Like, this is what it looks like today. That's nothing for college football. Go to my Instagram, you'll see by Saturday what it looks like. And that's why smash that like button, smash that subscription. Seriously, the bigger it gets, the more we'll be able to do more things. I would love to do something live on a Saturday and tell you what we got going on, or a Friday where I have so much information. With that said, I got something that I already bet. So this is actually, I gave it out to subscribers. I bet this play, so I'll use it as my best bet. It's a Friday night game. I took Colorado State plus the 7 against Wyoming. I think it's a great spot for Colorado State. Wyoming, they could run the football, and it appears they're going to have success against a Colorado State defense that allows around 5 yards per carry. Here's the catch. Colorado State's coming off a game where they played against Air Force, where all you see is running. And now they're going up against Wyoming right afterwards. I think they're going to have a lot easier time against that Wyoming rush attack after having faced Air Force, having prepared for Air Force prior. I think that the way the scheduling sets up for them is great for Colorado State. And again, 7 points is just way too many. I have this game should be around 3.5, 4-point favorite at the most. Getting a couple extra points of line value is the best I could ever hope for as a bettor. If you're going to lay 11 to 10, at least try to get the best of it. And I think at plus 7, we are. I know this line's coming down, so it's attracted a lot of wise guy money. But rest assured, there'll be more than enough public money on the Wyoming side to offset that. So if the line does come off that 7, you may want to sit back and wait and see if it goes back up, especially with this being the only game on Friday night, the TV game. You'll see Wyoming teasers, Wyoming money line parlays, a lot of Wyoming money. So this line may go back up, but I like the Colorado State side.
Add one thing to your Colorado State side. Wyoming's coming off a back-to-back gut-wrenching losses 2 weeks ago against Boise State, where they were playing for first place in the Mountain West. Then they come back last week and lose to Utah State in a game that looked close at the final. But in the fourth quarter, Utah State didn't do nothing offensively because quarterback Love got knocked out of the game, and then they did nothing in the fourth quarter, but Utah State still hung on for the victory.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for Colorado State.
I like it. I just played it 7 minus 120, still available. All right, now we're going to go to a newer segment called Ask the Experts. My favorite tweet this week was, who's the expert? Not me. Clearly. Did you see my record last week? That could be the expert next week, hopefully. Marco, I'm going to start with you. We're going to take some questions we found from Twitter. I got quite a few. We'll see how much time permits. Matt Angelo asked, what is your process for picking your best bet, your sandwich, your dogs, etc., and what is the number one thing you take into consideration when assessing value?
Well, for value, let's start there. You look at games. I want to find something that's not baked into the number. And that's where situational handicapping comes into play, because everybody knows
what players are worth, what this is,
exactly.
How to quantify
Somebody's
different
hurt,
factors.
they take, you adjust the line. So I want to find those angles like we talk about, who did you just play? So what I do every week when I start, and Kelly, I send you.
I see him.
I send you a tablet. Every Monday morning, I go through the entire card, both college and pro, through every single game, and I do what I call who, what, and where. Who did you just play? What happened? And where do you play next? That's what I do with every game on the schedule, and I set up those situations where a team's coming off a big game or has a big game on deck, and there you have, it's right there on my desk all week long to see those games. And a lot of those games, as you see, end up making the show here on Wednesday. That's what I do for doing it. And the who, what, and where, it's simple. Who did you play? Was it a rival? Were you playing for the division lead and you lost it? Those are the type of things where you want to look. That's how you find flat spots. You can talk to, bookmakers around town, and you have a great relationship with John Murray. Those are things they don't put in lines. That's intangibles.
No, they definitely don't.
Okay.
And we've talked about it several times. You and I argue with Brian Leonard
about
trap spots all the time. And I got John Murray to admit, of course we try to trap people. Why wouldn't we make something look a little bit more attractive than it should be? lipstick on a pig, here you go, lay the 7 with Penn State on the road at Minnesota, whatever it may be, right? And then, oh, by the way, now we're going to drop the line because we've seen sharp money and make it even more attractive. I absolutely agree with you. They don't put things like sandwich spots, scheduling spots into consideration into the math.
So great question from Matt Angelo, and hope that answered it for him.
Awesome. VR, this one's for you. Bill Huberry asks, is it better to place bets early or late in the week? I'm going to make that a two-part question with myself. Do you assess games? We know that Teddy Covers and Drew Martin do a opening line report for the NFL. Do you assess games going, hey, I know that this is going to get bet down, and when it hits a certain number, we're going to bet it back? Kind of go through your process of deciding when to bet early, when to bet late.
One of the best questions I've ever gotten, because that's key. When you place your bet is almost as important at times as what bet you're placing, because at the end, that's how you're going to grade it. Did I bet it at the optimum time? You don't grade your bet by the result, because so much randomness is going to happen is going to be the reason for the result. We see it all the time, week in, week out. One call by the ref changes the outcome. So you can't be result-based. You got to focus on, did you place good bets? And it's very easy to know that. Look at your ticket. What's the betting line? And then where did it close? Did you beat the closing number? If you did, and you could continue to do that, you're a mathematical certainty to turn a profit long term. Now, whether to bet early or late, here's the bottom line. If you're waiting till Sunday morning to place all your NFL bets, you won't make money betting sports.
Thank you.
You can't make money betting sports. I'm telling you that right now. You're going to lose long term to your bookmaker. There's no way that the optimum time to place all your NFL wagers is on the day of the game. Impossible. Because that's when the bookmakers also have received all the information. Every bit of info has been factored into the betting line. Every wise guy's picked at that number. Every sharp betting group has done all their work to see, is there any value left in that number? So if you're waiting till Sunday to fire, it's too late. You're simply laying 11 to win 10 on a coin flip. And when you have those great 5-1 weeks, I'm sorry to break it to you, that's a product of good luck. You didn't make any good bets. If you didn't beat the closing line, if you've gotten worse numbers than what it closes at, even if you went 5-0, you didn't place any good bets. You just got lucky. And that's why the book will continue taking your action and knowing over time they're going to take your money. Because if you continue to place bad bets, it's just a matter of time before it costs you. So the key is to place good bets. So getting back to answer that question, it's sometimes you want to bet early, sometimes you want to bet late. The goal is to bet at the optimum time. And to do that is try to read the market, and that takes years, if not decades, to learn how to determine which way the market's moving. And if you can guess right 6 out of 10 times, you're so ahead of the game. There'll be times where you lay 3 and the line goes to 2.5, and you're like, damn, I should have waited. It's going to happen. But if you're right 6 out of the 10, you got a better number because you were able to guess which way the market was going to go. You're so far ahead of the game. And again, I do this for real. Like, I love giving picks and all this, but I bet for real. Like, so for me, it's all about placing good bets and protecting my bankroll.
Awesome stuff, VR. We're going to step out for a quick break. When we return, it is our final thoughts on this week's college football action. And boy, do we have some final thoughts.